Sixth in session.
All right, let's go back on the record and BF 1668018, People versus Limon. The record reflects she's present in court with her attorney, Mr. Terry. People are represented by Mr. Smith. You have Mr. Hearn still on the stand under direct exam by Mr. Smith. He's accompanied by his attorney, Mr. Campbell. And we do have all 12 plus 4 in the box. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I see you all back. Mr. Smith, if you'd like to continue.
Aaron, if I may approach, I had some transcripts marked.
Please.
45A through D, mark this order.
Your Honor, I would request People's 45 be moved into evidence at this time. It is a CD with wiretap date November 9, 2014, previously testified to by the detectives in this case.
Any objection, counsel?
Submitted.
It'll be admitted. Mr. Smith, that 45A.
It is, Your Honor.
Okay. Deputy Barron is going to hand out 45A. As you recall from me telling you last week and for the rest of this week, the actual evidence is what you hear on the tape, not what you read from the transcript. Transcript is an aid to help you follow the law. You'll be able to repeat that phrase at the end of this trial. All right, looks like everybody has one, Mr. Smith. Counsel agree or stipulate Madam Reporter does not need to take down the contents in light of the item being marked. Mr. Terry.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Smith,
Yes, Your Honor.
proceed.
Unlimited.
Thank you, sir.
Well,
Hey,
hey,
were you asking?
no, that's okay.
Oh, I just got a text message from Detective Meyer and asked me to call him. So, I'm going to.
Okay.
And,
Oh, great.
okay. Okay, I just wanted you guys to pray. I'm going to pray and, call him.
God, please help us. God, please help us to be wise. Help Sabrina to have the right words. Please help everything to be. God, please help us to live free.
No, you're not. Okay, so just give me a couple minutes. Go watch the movie, whatever's on, and just relax, okay? There's a good movie that's on, so let me know. Okay, you can take that.
I'm sorry.
We need you. We need you so badly. Help us. We have a purpose that you have given us, God. Help us to not get distracted. Help us to not get distracted, but to stay focused on you. Help us to be so strong for you, Father God. Help us to live for you. need to be shared, but then also to be alert and wise about yourself. Please give us wisdom in Jesus' name.
Amen. I am all these things. I'll call you back.
Thank you. I love you.
Okay, I love you.
I love you.
Record reflect 45A was played for the jury. Go ahead, Mr. Smith.
Thank you. Mr. Hearn, drawing your attention to the transcript, page 1, lines 14 and 15, you make the statement, help Sabrina to have the right words. You recall saying that?
The recording helps me recall that, yes.
Now, prior to the wiretaps beginning, what had you and Sabrina discussed, you would say, or she would say, when confronted by law enforcement?
We didn't necessarily discuss line for line what to say, but overall, we were agreed upon a basic narrative of hiding my identity, just because right off the bat, if it was found that her husband had died and I was in a relationship with her, obviously I would become a prime suspect. So initially, we had agreed upon not to mention me at all. However, in the event that my identity was brought up, or that someone had mentioned me, that we agreed that we would use an alibi of saying that we were simply trying to hide an affair and nothing more than that. And that was the explanation, I guess, for our secrecy. So along those lines, as you mentioned here, essentially encouraging her to have the right words, it would be in line with that line of reasoning that we would maintain that same alibi and narrative.
The agreement that you had to conceal your identity and then to blame it on an affair, did that predate the murder of Robert Limon?
That did.
About how long prior to the death of Robert Limon had you and Sabrina come up with the plan what to do after when confronted by law enforcement?
Sometime during the summer of 2014.
If you turn to page 2, please. Drawing your attention to line 3. You say, we need you so badly, God help us. Why are you praying to God, and what are you praying to God for?
In the context of this message between the two of us, or this conversation between the two of us, obviously there's overtones of prayer and religion and stuff like that, which had been a part of our conversations over the time that we were friends. In retrospect now, I have some pretty strong thoughts on it, but at the time, the context was simply I guess to accommodate the position that we were in, that we were pursuing this relationship and hoping or expecting that somehow God would look favorably on that.
Now, during this time frame, did you pray to God in the hopes of law enforcement not finding you?
That was an aspect of our prayers, if you could call them that, yes.
Okay. Did you make those prayers with Sabrina as well?
Yes.
Drawing your attention to page 2, lines 8 through 9, you say, please keep her calmness and clarity and thought to not give too much information that needs to be shared. What's the context of that statement?
Likewise, just so that she was not too effusive with her words and explaining things that would lead to additional questioning along the lines of me being discovered.
Your Honor, I would request to play People's 45B and 45C at this time.
The objection, Mr. Terry?
Submit.
All right. That'd be granted, Mr. Smith. All right. Deputy Barrett will be handling out the transcripts. Actual evidence is what you hear, not what you read.
Thank you, sir.
Counsel, if I can I get an agreement or a stipulation that every time a tape is played with a transcript to the jury that the reporter does not need to take that down in light of the contents being marked?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Terry. I appreciate that. Mr. Smith.
So stipulate.
Very well. Proceed, counsel.
People are going to play the audio from November 9th, 2014 at 10:15.
Is 45B?
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh,
Hi, good morning, Detective Meyer.
Sabrina, how are you?
Oh, I'm okay.
Okay, the reason I called you, sorry for bugging you on Sunday. We had talked about me re-releasing the video to the news media. I went ahead and gave it to them on Friday. I'm not exactly sure when they're planning on rerunning it, but we're kind of running into a dead-end spot right now. So I'm hoping that by them re-releasing the video, it'll spark some secret witness tips or something like that. So I gave it to them on Friday, and I was going to call you, and I freaking dropped the ball. I got busy, so I apologize. And I know you guys probably don't get our news channels there, but I just wanted to give you a warning just in case somebody says something to you, they've seen it on the news, or if you see it on the news, that I did re-release it. I'm not sure when they're going to run that story again.
Okay.
That was about it. First bugging you. I was going to call you on Friday, and I got tied up.
No, you're never bugging me. I've been wanting to talk to you, and I just am feeling really bad.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. I know that you'll probably have some good days, some bad days, but hopefully eventually you'll be able to get through it and everything.
So there's no information at all.
Honestly, I don't have anything, and I wish I did, but I think we're kind of getting into a dead end, and I was hoping that by re-releasing that news video, that will spark something with somebody, and they may have seen something, and it'll give me some secret witness tips, or it'll either call me or something like that. So So that was it. And like I said, if something comes up, I'll always call you. And if you can think of anything, just give me a call and we can kind of go over it. But I didn't mean to bug you on Sunday. It was my fault. I totally forgot. I just got busy at work and forgot to give you a call.
Well, we remember you any time. I want to know.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that. Okay. Well, if something comes up, call me. And if I find out anything anytime soon, sometimes these things honestly could take a long time. I mean, it could be a couple of years before we get anything, and I do apologize for that. It's one of those things where we didn't really have any witnesses, and it could take a while to get, to get something. And so we'll keep in touch as much as possible. And if I run into something or I catch something, I'll call you. If you hear anything, give me a call, and we can.
I had talked to some friends, and I haven't looked over any of the details of what happened to Robert. But just like still remember, like.
And that's the thing. We were discussing this in the office, and to us, it seems just like a random deal too, and we don't really have
Like why? Like what? I mean, I was given details. This was just the other day, and I think they thought that I knew, and I mean I could know, but I just don't. I don't know those details because I just feel like it just feels so unreal. Like I cannot believe that Robert was murdered. Like it just seems so unreal that could even happen. So I feel like I'm just living like I guess I don't know. Like I can't believe that happened. And so crazy. One of those things like it's just the timing and everything, like it's so crazy to me.
And that's why it kind of seems random to us too. I mean, like I said, we're running into a dead end and we don't really have anything. And it's just one of those things where I'm hoping that if I get that video out there again, that somebody, has said something.
Does the video look better?
No, we don't have that video back yet. The one we sent off, the detective that's working on it could take another couple months. I don't know. I haven't heard from him.
Oh, I thought he just claimed to be re-released.
No. It's the one that we originally released. That's the only one I have right now. And so that's the one that we're going to put back out. And did you have a chance to watch that video?
I did, yeah. I have watched it.
And it's not great, and that's why we sent it off for.
No, I mean, it's like nothing's weird. It's just like, what does that even mean? It's just like such a question mark.
Right. And I'm just hoping that if I repost it, that maybe somebody has said something, and maybe somebody said something, and we'll call us back or something like that. You know what I mean? So anyway, I just want to let you know before it gets to you. If I gotta run in, I'm gonna grab some lunch with my wife and stuff. So.
Okay. Well, how was the lunch with your wife, and have a great Sunday.
You too. And if something comes up, I'll call you. Okay.
Okay, please do. Thank you for keeping in touch with me.
Okay. Thank you. Bye.
All right, record reflect 45B was placed for the jury.
From People's 45, what's labeled transcript 45C from November 9th, 2014 at 10:37 hours.
Proceed.
Unlimited. Hey. I'm sorry, I'm kind of walking out to church right now. Everything's fine. I'll talk to you after church when I see you. Is that okay?
Yeah. Every time.
Yeah, everything's fine. You guys said, you just said that they don't have anything, and that they're re-releasing the same video because the other one won't be back for like 2 months. You send it out to another detective, and,
Did you ask your own questions?
no questions at all. You just are at a dead end. Or he just said they're at a dead end.
All right, well, I don't want to keep you from church. I've been
Okay.
praying this whole time. I'm going to keep praying. I'll talk to you after church.
Thank you for praying. I appreciate that.
Yeah. God wants his name to be upheld. And the God who created this whole big old world, he likes to have a good name. And we have been telling people, and we've been showing that God has saved us. And I beg God, I want him to stand up for his own name's sake, and I just think of, we have such a ministry, and I want to be so willing to wear his badge, and I'm a Christian, and this is my story, and so let's get out there and enjoy this Sunday and get recharged.
Okay. Well, I'm going to call you when we get out, and now I'm like, I forgot purpose. Well, maybe I'm going to come out on Sunday and bring the kids, and if it's a nice day, we can go to the park. I was just like,
If you want, we could do dinner or something.
well, I did promise the kids, I told Robbie I'd get him an iTunes card. I mean, I could always go in town again tomorrow, but I kind of wanted to do it. So I'm going to go see how that goes.
Yeah.
But no,
And if you want, we
I
could
think
go into town, do an afternoon, do the evening, afternoon, hand out the rest of the baskets, have dinner.
Okay. I was kind of thinking, I would like to go to the, why can I never think of that part where we went? Yeah, why,
That would be nice. Do the rest of the baskets and then give them a $100.
that's what I was thinking, and I was even going to see if you wanted to have the kids, if you could, the kids could come, but now, seriously, I just saw that, and the only reason I grabbed my phone too, and then saw that, Detective Meyer had called is because, I was going to just text her up, hey, she was going to come out to church either way, but she was like, oh, I'm going to bring Chloe and Kaden, and, so that's fine if I'm just like, hey, I have plans, but then I was just, you know what I mean, it's one of those things, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's what wanted to, and it was such a pretty big girl, and that was just so nice to let the kids play, and so, anyway, I'll go see how, I'll pick up, but I guess, and I'm gonna see what can talk with you and all that. So you also enjoy this beautiful morning, and I'm going to be praying for you as well. And I'm so late. I don't think I've ever been this late, but there's a first time for everything. So I'm still going to go because that's important too.
Good, baby.
What time does your church start?
I actually started watching the sermon on TV or on the computer, and then I'm going to just go for the first part of mine. It's at 11:45, so as soon as you guys get into town, I'll break away. I'll just be in overflow or something, so it's not disruptive.
Yeah, I feel like I'm being disruptive. I'm almost like,
Hey, baby. It's all good. It's all good. Just go for it.
Okay, got it.
I'll see you later, baby. I love you so much.
I love you too. I'll see you soon.
Thank you, God. I love you so much, baby. Bye.
All right, record reflects 45C was played for the jury, Mr. Smith.
Mr. Hearn, drawing your attention to page 1, lines 9 through 10, where Ms. Limon says, yeah, everything's fine. I guess that he just said they don't have anything. Do you recall that portion of the conversation?
I do.
Did you subsequently speak with Sabrina Limon following this conversation about the context of her statement? What you see right here.
I did.
Okay. And what did Sabrina tell you?
We shared in mutual excitement over the fact that everything was fine, meaning that it seemed like they were not at that time very suspicious of our involvement.
Now, at this portion on November 9th, 2014, how sure were you of whether or not there was a wiretap on your phone?
Personally, I was not very sure.
Your Honor, if I may approach, have some transcripts marked.
Yes.
Peoples 46A through F, Hearn, next in order.
Your Honor, I would request Peoples 46 be moved into evidence at this time. His audio from the wiretap previously testified to by the detectives.
Mr. Terry, any objection?
Submitted.
To be admitted. There are 6 tracks on there, Mr. Smith. That A through F.
Yes, Your Honor.
Alpha through Foxtrot. Who are we handing out first, Mr. Smith, 46A?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Daniel's going to hand out. Yes, sir. You bet. Daniel Barron is going to hand out a transcript. The actual evidence is what you hear, not what you read. The transcript is an aid to help you follow along. Everybody's got one? Go ahead, Mr. Smith.
People's 46, November 10th, 2014 at 7:28 hours.
Hello.
Hi, baby.
Hi, Bob.
Hi, my love.
Hello.
I'm good. I miss you. I miss you so much.
You?
Oh, baby. I had such a nice night with you. I just miss you so much right now, though. Oh, cuffed my girl this morning.
Oh,
You're up all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
no, not really. I'm like wondered. How about you? Praying you're okay.
Thank you. Thank you, baby. I really appreciate your prayers today.
I will, I can only imagine how you feel. My eyes are burning right now, so.
What's that?
I said my eyes are burning right now, so I can imagine how you feel.
Mine too. Hey, I think we got exposed to some Agent Orange or some ricin gas or something. Oh wait. I feel like the frog's eyes. Stick some bleach to the retina.
Oh, I do too.
Nothing like scrubbing the old irises with some bleach.
Oh.
I feel it. Minor. And it's funny because it's like that bleach like activates with light sensitivity too. Like I came around the corner and the sun was coming up and I was like, whoa. I felt like I just walked into a police line. Like they were shooting tear gas at me. I was just all, whoa, like I'm all trying to stop crying to just drive.
Oh my
Hey. But it's okay. I got some good sleep in on the way down there, so we're good. We're good. Oh boy. Man, I think I fell asleep like 10 times.
Oh, I don't.
I seriously couldn't stop. Like, I just kept like waking up. I don't remember falling asleep. I just kept waking up. I remember waking up. Yeah, oops. I guess.
Are you okay now?
Well, I went to station 2 to grab my gear to go to station 3. I did overtime at station 3. It should be so it'll be let's see here. It'll be a 48 day off, 48, and then that's the days off, I think.
Well, it should be. That's how it should go.
I think I got some overtime on the front end of the whatever that was, 4-day or whatever. So I think I got a little overtime then, but I don't know. Well, I'll have to double check. But yeah, it should be 48 day off, 48 day off, or 48 day off, 48, and then days off. Like, couple days off. Hey, did I mention, even though I don't have my wallet, God kind of worked things out because I went to don't ID me, but I do have a credit card with a massive limit, so I should be good. So that's nice. Another way that I feel like it's gonna have to show up at some point. I mean, like,
Hey, I'm sorry.
I'm gonna like reach in my back pocket one of these times.
Did you call your friends after like looking street and you changed
Yeah.
the oil?
Yeah, they didn't see it there, so I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, I'm gonna grab some energy drinks here real quick. I gotta power down. Got power something down here. So anyways. So.
I don't like it. I don't like how it's working.
Hey, me neither, but loose.
You're not really eat on the phone right now?
What's that? Hello, how are you? Thanks so much, you too. I'm sorry. So, anyways, it's a nice, I like this weather down here. It's like all foggy and misty.
Hey, that sounds sleepy.
What's that, baby?
That sounds like sleepy weather.
I know. I'm gonna, hey, and then I went into station 2, and the captain, I'm gonna have at station 3 today, was all, he was working at station 2, or yesterday at station 2, so I cruised through there, and he's all, got a big day planned for station 3, get down there. I was all, oh, yay, good. I'm hoping I have a really big day planned. So excited. And then he's all, wait, you're not going to get me sick, are you? Like, were you really sick yesterday? And I was all, I'm at work, aren't I? Shut up, dude. He's super annoying, so, hey, at least I'll stay awake with annoyance, probably. Like, David, shut your face.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, man. I feel like there's chunks floating in my eye. Little chunks of raccoon fingernails or something. I like trying to get out. I'm not even trying to get in, I'm trying to get out.
That's good fingernails.
I'm serious. Those little devils pry everything out. I pry into whatever.
Oh my god.
Cat cages, the chain link fences, sleepy eyes, you know.
Oh, baby.
Okay, I'm just beside myself. I'm coming to grips with that. I'm coming to grips with that part. I hope.
Hey, listen.
He started getting snarky with me this morning and doing street quizzes, so I'm just, I don't know, I'm gonna throw up on him. Make him send me home, you know. Not to be gross, I'm just sick of you. Here we go.
Oh man, you
Out of control.
are cracking me up this morning. You just had to sit up. I want more.
Oh boy, I don't even, that was just all from the heart. be funny, you know. Those kind of situations. Oh, baby, I'm at station 3. How about you? Gosh, I love you.
You know what?
Have me.
Oh, gosh. I'm going to be thinking about you. I don't like this. I don't think that even this, we say that. And then you having to walk through it like this, you know. But in these circumstances, I know you've worked very, very tired before, you know. And if you can get that little nap in, probably.
Yeah, that would be so awesome.
I'm hoping that happens for you, and if not.
Yeah, if you're not, oops. Oops. Well, yeah. Oh, baby, hey, could I agree with you real quick? Good morning, God. Thank you so much for, and pardon me for having my hat on and my hands full. I'm praying, God, sorry. And God, just help us to have a good morning this morning. Help us to hold for you and love you and serve you. Help us to be full of purpose for you and not to get distracted by tiredness or anything else, but to remember why we're here and to minister for you and setting an example for those who are around. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. I will even notice tiredness.
What's that?
I said even notice of being tired.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that's what matters most. I appreciate you so much.
And have a great day.
Thank you so much, baby.
Even in the state. Have a great day. Drink your energy drink and find this power.
You say his power or his power? What did you say?
Okay, find his power. But I did say his power. It's not power.
Oh, that's creepy. The power lines outside the station are all crackling. It sounds like not sure if the rats are getting electrocuted or something. You know? Yeah, it sounds like it's gonna, like, if I get too close, it's gonna little finger of light. I'm gonna reach down and kiss the forehead.
Wow. That's not a good feeling.
Yeah, that's more.
That's a creepy sound.
Kind of not good typically when the 12,000 volt high tension wires are crackling. It's probably just because it's so foggy and they're all like shorting out on each other. Looks like boring. Anyways.
Oh, well, you know what? Embrace the weather and the state and love God. And let's be thankful for everything that we've been given.
Right, maybe let's be grateful.
I love you, okay?
Baby,
I just want to be in touch with you, okay?
baby, oh baby, love you. Love you so much. I'll see you.
Be safe and have a great day. I'm glad you're there. Glad you're there.
All right, record reflect 46A, placed for the jury.
Mr. Hearn, drawing your attention to page 4, line 17, where Ms. Limon says, "Did you hear that weird beep on the phone right now?" Were you listening to see if there was any issue with your phones? I mean, do you recall doing that?
I do remember that she referenced both here and on at least one other occasion when she had thought that she'd heard some sort of weird beeping, and we referenced that as possibly being an indicator to wiretaps. So yes, with respect to around that time frame, it was something that we did speak about.
In the transcript, you also mentioned that you had, your captain, I guess, had mentioned that, asked if you were really sick the day before. Had you taken the day off the day before?
I was trying to remember the configuration of my shift schedule, and right now, just since it was 3 years ago, I honestly don't recall.
Within this transcript and the audio, there's a lot of talk of your shifts, 48 on, day off. How much were you making as a firefighter in, I guess this would be November 2014?
It would be kind of difficult for me to remember the base salary. There's a number of stipends and additional bonuses, and then, as mentioned here, usually a profuse amount of overtime. So I guess just as a sort of an indicator, the previous year I'd made or grossed just over $100,000, including some side business investments as well, though. So.
Now, in 2014, were you on course to make that same amount or more money?
Probably slightly more.
When you say slightly more, what do you mean?
Well, dependent on one of my real estate investments, I had a parcel, a third piece of property that I had recently purchased and was looking to do some groundbreaking on that, which could potentially be quite a bit more made that year, but that was potentially going to be reinvested early in 2015 in another development project. So I'm not sure if that project had come to fruition, it would have definitely been well over 100,000.
To reflect that Deputy Barron is handing out 46B. You know the drill. Everybody has a copy, Mr. Smith, please.
People now playing what's been marked as 46B, November 10, 2014 at 10:02 hours.
Thank you.
Detective
Hi, Detective Meyer. Sabrina Limon.
Sabrina, how's it going?
Oh, what's up?
That's some exciting news.
Okay, tell me.
I just got an email from our crime lab,
Uh-huh.
and the day when Robert was murdered, we got tons of DNA sample swabs from everything we could. The doors, the truck, and the crime lab just sent me an email and said they got a good DNA sample from what they believe was a sweat drop that was on the floor. And so what they're going to do is they're going to test the DNA, and they believe that they'll be able to get a good DNA profile from that sweat drop. We're still probably like about a month away from getting the results, but it looks good. It's the best news we've gotten so far.
Really? Oh, gosh. That's great.
Yeah, I'm excited. We've been waiting to see something happen, and got the email this morning that I want to give you a call as soon as possible.
Detective Meyer, thank you.
It looks like it's probably going to be about the best news we've gotten so far. There's no DNA is very advanced these days, and we can get a lot of good information from it. So, also another thing too, my boss has been giving me a little pressure. He's kind of being a jerk lately about getting this case done and getting all the interviews scheduled on it. And so we have a few things that we do. The first interview, we usually do over the phone. I think we did that the night of the incident, correct? Do you remember?
Yes.
And then,
Hold on, maybe, okay? I'm going to be right there.
so we usually do, sorry.
Okay, no, I'm sorry. My kids are home from school today.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So usually what we do is we do an interview over the phone if we can, and then do a personal interview in person like we did the other day with our family partner out there. So what I need to do to finish my interview process up, we need to do a formal interview as part of our department policy. So I'm wondering if maybe you'd be available maybe Wednesday, and I can get you to come over here and we can get the interview knocked out.
Come to Bakersfield?
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you be free Wednesday?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will be here Wednesday. I actually get here at 8 o'clock. And so as soon as you can come, it'll be awesome. Whenever you want to get done, and then we can get you on the way back home. Are the kids at school this week, or are they?
Yeah. Yeah, they're in school on Wednesday. They go back on Wednesday.
Okay. So what time Wednesday would be available? I think we Friday should either be done and be back before they get out of school.
Okay. Let's see here. They go to school at 9.
Okay.
What does it take, like 2 hours to get there?
Yeah, about 2 hours.
Okay. So like maybe a little after 11?
Okay, that'd be cool.
Would that be okay? Okay, oh, that sounds good.
It does. And I'll text you our address, and I'll shoot a map over to you so you know how to find it.
Okay.
Any questions, you can call me.
Is it hard to get to?
No, it's pretty easy. It's actually right off the freeway, right off the 99 freeway. And I'll shoot you the address, and then you can just type it into your cell phone or whatever and try to use Google Maps to get you there. It's very easy. If you have any questions or anything, you can call me and I'll give you directions. But I couldn't wait to call you. I had to tell you about this. It's awesome. I'm so excited.
Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so happy to hear that.
I don't know a lot of the details on about the questions of the DNA. I don't know how to go. That's all technical stuff. So I'm going to go meet with them today and talk to them. And they said it was off, and it looked like it was a sweat, like a drop of sweat that hit the ground there where the incident occurred at, and they believe they're going to get a good profile on it. Okay.
Okay. I was going to call you again. When is that video going to be re-released, you said?
I released it to them on Friday, and so I don't know when they're going to replay it. It's all up to the media.
Okay, and you just did kind of the same thing, or?
Yes, we don't have that other video back yet, so I had to shoot give them the same video. But I'm hoping that we're kind of, a spot where we don't really have anything, and so I was kind of hoping that re-releasing that video would spark somebody's interest in Tehachapi, and then they may, give a call to the secret witness hotline or something like that. So
Maybe something.
maybe somebody saw something, and they may give us a call. But,
somebody that hadn't seen it or something, huh?
That's what I was thinking. So it's up to the media. Whenever they release it, it's out of our hands right now. I basically give it to our PIO. He said I handle that to them. couldn't wait to talk to you. I'm so stoked right now. I have all my partners in the office here, so.
Detective Meyer, thank you so much.
No problem. I've been working hard on this, and hopefully it pays off. So I appreciate all your understanding and how long it takes and stuff. But anyway.
Oh, thank you so much.
Sounds good. I'll talk to you something up before then. I'll call you. If not, I'll see you Wednesday about 11:30. We'll get this thing knocked out. You can get back before your kids get out of school, and we'll be good to go.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right. Have a blessed day.
Okay, you do the same. Thank you, Detective. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Record reflect 46B was placed for the jury.
Your Honor, would request to play what has been marked as 46C at this time.
46C is in Charlie. Any objection, Mr. Terry?
Submitted.
Proceed.
Thank you.
All right. Record reflect 46C is in Charlie has been handed out to the jury, Mr. Smith.
Uh, 46C, November 10th, 2014 at 10:34 hours.
Total for this call is unlimited.
Hi, baby.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you, girl?
I'm okay. I was just checking on you.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm doing good. We're off to a nice busy start here. Did you look for you?
Well, have a great day. I just talked to Detective Meyer. He called me
Oh, really?
and he wants me to come in on Wednesday for like a final statement.
Okay.
And he said that the DNA isn't back, but they got a call from the lab. Well, he sent me a message and he just said, "Hello, Sabrina. This is Detective Meyer. I have some exciting news. Call me when you get the chance." And then he just said that there was a bit of DNA found, and I don't know how they said it's not actually back yet, but the lab called them, and so he said that that's really good news.
Yeah, it was what? I'm sorry?
He said that was really good news, and he said that that's the only thing that they've had so far, and he was super excited about that. And
Good.
and then he just said, and then he said that, so with that, they're super excited to have that, and then he had said that his boss is kind of being a jerk and that he needs like a final statement for me to come in. And so he sent me a text, "Here you go, Sabrina, the address is," he gave me, "I'll send you a picture of the map of the area. I'll see you on Wednesday. Again, I'm excited about the news." I said, "I am too, thanks. See you on Wednesday."
Good. So what time on Wednesday?
I said about 11, and then he said, "Are your kids in school on Wednesday?" I said, "They are." And then so he said, "Okay, well, I should be back to get them, in time."
Okay. And it's in In Tehachapi or
in Bakersfield.
Bakersfield? Okay. Okay. Good deal. Well, okay. Well,
That's that news, and I just wanted to share it with you.
thank you. Thank you. Well, I'll keep praying for the whole situation and hope everything goes really well, you know.
Thank you.
So what time are you taking off on Wednesday?
Well, I guess after I drop the kids off, huh?
Okay. Okay. I wonder if, I'm just trying to think if maybe I could, maybe I could see it before you go or something.
Yeah, we can.
Just,
Pray and
yeah, just maybe get all your thoughts together, you know.
Well, gosh, we'll talk maybe a little bit, and Jill's coming over this morning. She called me early, and so I thought, hey, if you have to go on with your day, I'm going to get up and read the Bible. And the Detective Meyer told me, okay, so you're going to have a blessed day.
Oh, okay. Good. So I wonder what their, so they said they don't have DNA back, but yet they
He
have
said that
DNA.
he said that there was a drop of sweat.
Okay.
And so I don't know what that means. How can you tell if it's like Roberts or, well, I mean, obviously if it's Roberts, but like,
Yeah, I'm not sure.
yeah, he said that they had, he said that he was really excited about that news because it's the only thing they've had to go on.
Okay. Well, were you getting points to the right person and everything, you know, on that?
Yeah.
Okay, good deal. Well, I'll keep praying for that situation and did you clarify what you needed in the final statement, or not so much?
No, he said it's all just, like legal, like it's all, what word am I looking for? It's all, what word am I looking for? Like how the order goes, kind of thing.
Oh, just like cursory, just part of the process. Just, Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Good deal. Well, let's,
Should I ask my sister to go with me?
Yeah, probably. I mean, maybe that's what they do there. Yeah, just have some company now.
Yeah.
That seems like a good idea. Yeah.
Okay. That kind of deal.
Okay.
Well, can we talk later on, or,
Yeah, for sure.
how are you
What's
feeling?
up? Good. Hey, you know, it's crazy how everything, you know, everything's, God is bringing, you know, even though this is kind of a phase where you really starting to get to that point where it's like, okay, it's all good, it's working itself out. Like, I'm just gonna kind of, you know, just wait on the Lord and be of good courage and all that. And you know what, God has a plan. It's been in you know, okay, well now we have somebody, you know, we have a DNA match, and I don't know how that works either. Of like,
Yeah.
do they have to be okay?
It's, I was talking to her and I was like, oh, this text just text me off. Yeah, you're not sure how that works.
Yeah, I think like they have to be in the system, you know, they have to,
Yeah.
they have like a,
Well, that's what he had said, that if there was a criminal, you know, this is boom, that's a protection.
right, yeah,
So,
so, wow, okay. Well, you know, and putting a face to the name, or putting, you know, kind of putting things all together, you know, God has a purpose in that too, and
yeah.
Yeah, babe. I'm sitting out here on the patio. Hi, baby. I'm talking to Jonathan. Hi, Joe. Hi. Joe's gonna do the what's up, buddy? I want you to take your phone in the water. Oh, thank you, baby.
Yeah, so, again, that's what he had said, it's in the system, so.
okay,
And he sounded super excited.
good. Okay, well, perfect. Hey, I would love to see you. I would love to see you when.
I thought about
Honey, go, I want a private call. Yeah, I'm gonna be off in just a second. Okay, sweetheart, come on. No, nothing in Dad's truck. Okay, go. No patient driving in Daddy's truck. No. Leanna, you guys are watching the Polar Express. No, it's not over. What about the physical meeting? Are you hungry?
I'll be very hungry, let me feed you. It might change the attitude a little bit.
Leanna, please go in there, and I'll be there in just a minute, okay?
We're getting a call. Hey,
Okay.
Can I call you back?
Yes, you can.
Okay, I was about to talk to you, just kind of, that was the time maybe, yeah, anyway, I'm going to talk to you.
Okay. Okay,
I love you so much. I'll talk to you then.
okay, be safe, okay?
Okay, bye.
46C was placed for the jury, Mr. Smith.
Thank you. Mr. Hearn, drawing your attention to page 3, lines 5 through 6, where you requested if you could see Ms. Limon prior to her going to Bakersfield. What was your purpose behind that?
In this conversation, I'm sure it's probably pretty clear. She mentions that the detective has just told her that they've found DNA, but they haven't processed it yet, and that sounded very strange to me at the time, because of course on any crime scene you're going to collect DNA, and there would be no excitement about collecting DNA. And so in that moment, my stomach really hit the ground, and I realized this was some sort of, it just sounded strange at that time. And so in all those pauses there, as I'm sure is obvious, I was kind of collecting my thoughts on new alibis, on how to go about explaining that. So in those lines 5 and 6, where I asked her to meet, or with the hopes of meeting with her, that was directly to avoid phone contact, just because in my preliminary suspicion right there and right then, though it didn't last completely, I was suspicious of it might have been a some sort of ruse to get us to talk on the phone. So, yeah.
I draw your attention now to page 5, lines 17, then 21 and 22. You state, I think like they have to be in the system, you know. And subsequent to that, Ms. Limon says he had said that that if there was a criminal, you know, this boom, that's going to catch them. Do you recall speaking with Ms. Limon about DNA and the CODIS database?
Yes.
Okay. What had you told Sabrina Limon about DNA and the CODIS database?
I don't remember in its entirety, but I did explain just the peripheral information about it, and that is essentially that to find a match within the database, that they have to have been someone who has had their DNA sampled or collected at some point. And so automatically felons obviously would have their DNA submitted, but someone who'd never had their DNA submitted before would not likely be a match. So obviously that was one of the many things that I was hopeful for in suggesting sort of to steer the investigation away from myself and us.
Now, had you ever had your DNA sample taken?
I was trying to recall that, and I don't recall. Not for a criminal allegation.
Okay. Your Honor, I would request to play 46D at this time.
D is in Delta. Any objection, Mr. Terry?
Submitted.
Proceed, Mr. Smith. Deputy Daniel Barron is going to hand out a transcript. The actual evidence is what you hear, not what you read. That'll be the same admonition every time a transcript is handed out to you. Looks like we're all set, Mr. Smith.
On November 10th, 2014 at 17:54 hours.
Detective Meyer.
Hey there. Sorry about that. I was trying to get some, are you there?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Sorry about that. I was trying to get to my car real quick, and so now I'm in the car. I can talk to you. I'm sorry I don't have a whole lot of information for you. The only thing that I was told from the lab that they got a good, I guess they could, this would be a profile builder or a profile from what they believe to be a sweat prop. That's kind of all they told me. I was supposed to be with them today. So I got tied up and I couldn't meet with their boss. And basically their supervisor is the one that will sit down with me and talk to me about the profile and that type of thing. But I don't have a lot of info on it. I call it maybe a Wednesday, I'll have some more whenever we meet and talk.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Okay.
you have another question?
No.
So I'm kind of busy. There's just, it's all scientific stuff. And like I said, I'm just a detective. I don't have a lot of scientific knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
So it's above my head.
Well, I've heard like stuff from people,
Okay.
Do you have an autopsy report?
Do I have not? There is an autopsy report. I haven't reviewed it, but there is one yet.
Mm-hmm. How was Robert? How was he shot?
Like I said, I haven't read the autopsy report. The only thing I've looked at was the crime scene photos, but I haven't looked at any of the autopsy stuff. So, and for me, the way I like to do things, I would better remember the first time they were versus, that type of stuff and how they would end up being killed, which is unfortunate. So I don't have.
I can't believe it. I'm just haven't really. I don't want to think. I haven't. I have to be so strong for me to,
Right.
I have to.
And if you're having a bad day, I'm sorry, it's horrible. I know you're going to have good and bad days sometimes. But hopefully eventually you'll go to work through those good and bad days and be there for your kids.
I can't believe it. No, I just cannot believe it. I just can't, I don't understand why a crime scene, I don't, why,
Right. Like I said before when we talked, we may never really know why. Just trying to build the pieces back together and hopefully finding out, what happened. But we may never know. It's unfortunate. It's just a possibility. We may never get the answers we want.
well, since you said that, like I said, I try to every day to get, so I'm just.
Yeah. And honestly, that's awesome. That's such great news that we got that. And it could lead
So you're hopeful there.
Yes.
I just don't understand, like, what does that give you? So you just send it, so since you have that, then that might link to somebody.
Yes. And it might link to somebody and give us if we get the profile, then it may lead to.
You have nothing, no one has come and talked or.
No, not yet. And like I said, when we released that video, I was hoping that somebody who may have never seen the video before would come forward and say, hey, I know that guy. And that would help also, but right now we're kind of at a dead end. And I was so excited when I saw that email from the crime lab about the DNA, the sample from the drop. I was just ecstatic and had to call you as soon as possible. I'm really so excited. I think it's going to be the breakthrough in this case, I'm hoping.
Okay, well.
But maybe Wednesday I'll have one for you. If I get a chance to meet with him, I can talk to him and maybe because I don't feel like that. I don't know that scientific crap. I'm just cop, and so that stuff is very technical. And so maybe hopefully Wednesday, if I talk to him.
Well, they're taking care of it, so that part helps them get out and.
Well, actually, our lab does everything. They do all the house. And sometimes, like I said, that takes a while, so maybe another month. With priority, even though it's a priority case, it still may take a month or even more to get the results back. Right? They handle everything in-house.
You haven't heard anything from the railroad or?
No. I haven't heard anything from those guys. I know every once in a while they'll check in with me and ask if I need anything, but I haven't heard much from them. I know for a while they had their police officers were handing out flyers everywhere, and that's where we got the majority of all those tips from, and they kind of led me to nowhere, which is unfortunate. I haven't heard anything from those guys, and I And like I said, you can call me anytime. I want to call from Thursday. Something comes up, just give me a call, and I hope that can answer your questions. Unfortunately, this part I don't really have an answer. I don't know a whole lot about it. So I'll look forward to seeing you Wednesday.
Okay, that sounds great.
Okay? I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, thank you, Detective Meyer. Thank you. Have a great night.
Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
46D and Delta was placed for the jury. Mr. Smith, that's a good spot for a recess. Let's take our morning recess there, 15 minutes. Remember not to form or express any opinion or discuss the case. We'll see you all back. All right, we'll go back on the record of People versus Limon. She's present in court with her attorney and the people are represented. We have Mr. Hearn still on the stand, under oath, subject to direct by Mr. Smith, and all 12 plus 4 accounted for. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Mr. Smith, please.
Your Honor, we request to provide what has been labeled 46E.
He is an echo. Any objection, Mr. Terry? Excuse me. Deputy Barron will hand out a transcript. You know what to do with it. All right, record reflect all jurors have a copy. Mr. Smith, please.
Now going to play November 10th, 2014 at 18:21 hours.
Hello.
Hi, Lee.
Hi, my beautiful. I'm so sorry. We're just still getting dinner for the other guy.
Oh, I know your face was so crazy. I'm sorry.
No, don't feel bad. I miss you so much. I am, gosh, I'm so bummed that I'm on overtime today, and then I'm so bummed that I'm working tomorrow. And I tried everything I could to get tomorrow off, and I can't seem to get anybody. I'm going to send out one more text tonight to see if anybody else can do it, but so far nobody can do it. I took Thursday, Friday off too, just to hang out and stuff, and so anyway, no, it's not that big of a deal. I have a lot of extra time, and we're coming into the new year, so it's not that big of a deal. Looks like they got their stuff. I'm gonna be getting in the interview here in a second. I'll probably be quiet about that. Some stuff has been going through my mind on just the whole layout of everything and how it's happened and stuff. And honestly, I don't know. I guess I want to probably talking first, and to just like, I don't even know, it almost seems like just because of how they're treating you, it's almost like they're suspecting like you or something, or like us, so I started to think like they might even be, tapping into phone calls or stuff like that, so I don't know, and I can imagine, hey, if they suddenly came upon phone records, well, of course, that's something to sink their teeth in, and they're going to be more suddenly suspicious of that, so it's like, they're going to try to be more.
Well, I just called the detective and I was just like, hey, Detective Meyer, Sabrina was like, hey, so I'm sorry, I've been thinking saying like, so if you have DNA, like, do you have a suspect,
Mm-hmm.
And he said, no, he said, I'm just a detective. He said
The lab people
do all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So they send it out, and I was also just like going to the system, or how does that work? He's all, I'm not really sure. And then I'm all, okay. And then he's all, I was just so excited this morning when I got that email that there was some DNA,
Yeah.
Obviously, but then on the other hand, I hear what you're saying.
Right. To me, me, it's like, well, why would he say he's not sure about that? Because he's the detective who investigates homicide. It's like, well, what do you mean you're not sure? You know, like that.
He said it's all the scientific stuff. He's on, just like on a coffin. You know, that's all the scientific stuff.
But, so, if he's saying that now,
I'm sorry, I don't have a lot of information for you. Maybe I'll have some more for you Wednesday.
I'm sorry, what's that?
He just said, I'm sorry, I don't have a lot of information for you. Maybe I'll have more for you Wednesday. He said he got busy today, and that
Gotcha.
felt like, you know, not being able to really.
Yeah, I understand, and I can imagine they are probably pretty busy and stuff. But are you gonna be around at all tomorrow? Are you
Yeah.
busy tomorrow, or?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I don't know. Gosh, I wish I could see you. I have anyway, I don't know. I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna try to one more time to see if anyone wants to.
What about split shifts?
What's that?
What about half a shift? Okay, I'll be right there, okay? I don't know. I'll be right there, okay, Hannah? Hannah, here. Yeah. Okay. What about like a split shift?
You know, I'll check and see if anyone wants to just get some money for sleeping at station 2 pretty much. You know, hey, that's part of that does still. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna try my best. So far I didn't get any reactions back from it. Well, everyone that I heard, I think they all have their kids and stuff, so they're like, oh no, I can't do it, whatever. But I'll try one more time. I really want to see it. There's a couple things that are kind of bothering me about just the way he's treating you, kind of keeping you out of the loop, and it's what? That doesn't seem right. And as I think about it, as I'm thinking about it today, even more, and I know we've discussed this in the past, but I can't help to go. I can't help but think
Is it weird that he's having me come to the station?
well, it's weird. It makes me think he I don't know. I feel like he's gonna just. I feel like this is his way. He probably saw cell phone records, and then he's using a couple things, watching, of course, our relationship, kind of watching and observing our patterns and stuff, and then being and then probably it's probably his first thought, oh well, obviously they're together, so they're probably involved, and so I feel like this is going to be his effort to.
I can't even believe that.
What's that?
I can't. It's so crazy,
Yeah, well, I'm sorry, this engine is quite loud. Anyways, so anyways, as I think about it, I go, you know what, it's almost like he's suspecting us of being involved, and so I almost think he's, how officers are allowed to use ruse, meaning they're allowed to, if you want to get information, you're allowed to lie to get information. So it seemed like the whole thing of hey, I need you to call me, I'm sitting in the paper again, I have nothing, was probably a ruse to get you to relax and open up, and if you had some secrets, just tell me hey, we're all good, if we were keeping a secret or something, and then beyond that, it's he's going, oh yeah, well we got DNA, and it's I feel like that's kind of what he's doing, is like he's bringing you out of your comfort zone and into his comfort zone, and like, so you're like in his domain, like.
Oh yeah, he was really nice right now. He's just like, yeah, you never know, like, it just depends, you know. He's like, I'm not.
But obviously, it's like, okay, you're driving to Bakersfield to give final statement. Why didn't you guys get all the final statements before? You know, and so it's like, I was going to talk to you and see if you want to maybe kind of feel him out a little bit, and so then tomorrow just call him and say, hey, you know what, stuff has come up, family and daycare issues and stuff. I'm not going to be able to make Wednesday. Will you reschedule for like Friday? You know, and just kind of like feel him out. If he if you were because I like he's kind of been back and forth with you. Like he hasn't been straightforward, right? And I understand what he's doing. Like from an investigator, like I understand what he's doing. He's just making sure that you really don't have any knowledge or involvement, but that's how they have to do it. Because like they have to get you out of your comfort zone. They have to like jerk you around a little bit and like be like, oh yeah, everything's so great, everything's so great. And you get there and it's official. We got suspect, everything's lined up, like it's all good. And then like they get all back, it's all and then like, so obviously you know who it is because we know that you know. So go ahead and talk. You know, it's like, well, good try, you know, but I understand what they're doing, but
I hope not.
That's kind of the feeling I'm getting. So I don't know what you think of that. That was kind of my first thought, or that was one of my thoughts, was like, let's reschedule. You know, just as like, you know. Hey.
Yeah, I could tell that.
I just think like it'll give us some time to talk about things. It'll give just because I want to talk to some of my buddies too, and just kind of you know, some of my investigator buddies and be like, hey, what's the deal with this? Like, is this, you know, especially I'm even more interested in this Barstow guy or whoever this guy was from Barstow. Like, what's his involvement, you know, and was that even true, or is it just all these people, you know, from Detective Meyer to this guy in Barstow to everybody else, like, just getting little bits of information and getting all excited, you know, like, oh, hey, how'd you get excited? We got some more information, you know, and it's like,
yeah.
So,
when
I don't know.
Meyer, he just said, I got an email this morning and I couldn't wait to call you and tell you, you know. But then, yeah, there was,
So, he was saying according to the email, it's a suspect match, or it's a...
No, he said they could build a profile.
Build a profile, okay.
I have no idea what that, and I was just like, okay.
Okay.
So it was almost like how he made it sound like
Well, yeah, as far as I understand DNA, just because really the only DNA you can profile against is, you know, the DNA database that's in our Department of Justice system. The only other way you acquire it is if you have a suspect who's not otherwise you know, in a prison system or something like that. So like, say if I suspect you know, Jim of being a suspect, you know, I go collect the DNA and build the profile from a science perspective, like, okay, this chromosome meets this one, whatever, and then it just becomes a matter of trying to get a DNA sample from Jim. So whether that's, you know, following him around at a restaurant, because I've heard of that a number of times, like following him around to a restaurant, if there's like any saliva on a cup, or, you know, go to the house and get a piece of hair or whatever, and it's where that way you can be like, okay, now the science matches who we suspected it was, and then here's the suspect, and here's why they have a motive, and then, you know, puts this person here, and like because they're trying to build a case for whoever it is, you know, and they're trying to like get not only suspect, but and it has to be bulletproof too, because like you think about that as when we build these cases, we always try to get a couple frames of reference, a couple sides of proof of the same thing, you know, because it's like, what if the DNA collection or the DNA interpretation or something, what if that was awry? What if that was a myth? Well then, now you have to, you know, and say that part gets kicked out of court, well then the whole thing is greatly decreased, you know, because it's like, well, we have a motive and we have a suspect, but we don't actually have any person that we can prove that it was, because this part got kicked out of court by like a good defense attorney who said like, oh, we used it wrong or something, you know. So like they're going to try to, you know, they mention like sweat. Well, I'm sure they're looking for other stuff too, or they did, you know, they look for.
Yeah, he said pretty much like in a crime scene, you only have like one chance.
Right. So, you know, okay. So if the sweat was, you know, drop of sweat was the only piece that came back, like there's no other hair, there's no other fingerprints, evidently, I think those things would come back first, you know. So then, now a couple months later, all right, we got a piece of sweat. Well, now begins the process of, you know, now you gotta do your homework to prove like this is this person. This is like, you know, you have a, I don't know, it's tough being on this side of the law. It's tough being on this side of the law because we as prosecutors, we have a lot more to prove, you know? Like the other people, all they have to do is cast doubt. They have to be like, well, is there a chance that this person brushed up against this person, and then this happened, and then their DNA ended up there, even though they weren't there, they still, because they know this person, then their hair fell onto the ground from there. Okay, so you're saying there's a chance, you know, and so they'll just riddle our cases with like doubt. And so the whole thing is, I'm sure he's reluctant to say like yes or no or this or that, because as a prosecutor, he's got he's building a case for the district attorney. So the district attorney is going to like form the whole thing. But it's like he's got a lot to prove, you know, from person to malice to intent to willfully and maliciously. They have to.
Yeah. Do you have an autopsy report?
Mm-hmm.
You know, there is an autopsy report but I don't have it.
So I tried to look that up online too after Tiffany said you can't, and there's no, I didn't see anything online. So whatever she was saying,
you don't want to go there, you know, because you know, like it's not good for you to like dwell in that.
See, and that's the stuff that like bothers me. It's like, why is he getting all of a sudden like, I don't know. And I don't know. I guess it's just because
you have your kids to take care of, and you know, like you have to live, and sometimes you think like that's not good for you to do if you get all wrapped up and stuff like that. And then he's all, I'm really sorry you're having a hard time.
I just feel like he like, and it's tough because here I am with him from a prosecution standpoint, but then, of course, you and I have an affair, you know, and it's like, well, of course they're going to look into that.
Yeah, I think he's asking me to watch the movie.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Sure.
Okay, I'll be right there. No, don't tell me now. That's not me. Can I have the test right there, and I'll be right there? No, I'm going to give you one back. I'll be right there, okay?
Oh, I love you guys so much.
I mean, I can't even, to imagine, you know, what.
Yeah, I don't know what, airplane for as far as prosecution,
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole thing, you know, I wish, but like you said, they're not.
Yeah. No, I get it. Like, I'm thinking, I'm putting myself in their shoes. And you're my friend, and like, so I'm more protective of you. And it's like, well, hey guys, like, beg off a little bit, like, because typical, like, get you all smoothed up and, feeling content, and then they build, like, this is how we do it, and of course, does it look like we would be the ones involved? Of course, like, what a disaster, like, what a disaster, I can't even think of that,
yeah.
But that's the reality of it.
So unbelievable. I understand. I get it.
It's like, of course we're gonna come up as like, well, here,
I'm praying, and it's like,
yeah,
this is not something to glorify God, or this, or the children, or of course, they need blessings.
Thank you, baby.
But it's just,
Baby, I feel the same way.
overwhelming, like, my stomach, and then, I just feel like, well, like, how did this, I just can't believe this happened. Like, it's just so crazy to me. It's so crazy. And, I mean,
We'll talk in person. Hopefully, I'm sorry, you don't know.
oh, we don't have an idea. We don't know what the,
Yeah. I guess I just am kind of getting protected because I feel like I see, like, okay, he just did phone records. The phone records just came due. So I feel like he probably has that, but then he's making up other stuff to try to pressure you into saying it was me, obviously, or I arranged it, or hired somebody, or something like that.
50-50, maybe they don't.
And you're right. I guess I'm just like, okay, so he was just looking at records, and now he's schmoozing her. He's being nicer than he's ever been before. And that's what I'm taking into consideration. He's never been this nice, ever.
Yeah.
And he wants you to come to his domain now. Like, these are all cookie cutter, quintessential, like, if you go to the book of interviews and interrogations for, especially for, like, females, it's going to be, your time, your schedule, your location. They're out of their comfort zone, and then you're going to be, with your Sabrina,
should I ask?
With your Sabrina, you've got your
Should we meet?
story.
Should I ask them? Can we meet somewhere, or like, no, like that's not gonna happen?
Honestly, I would just go, okay, I am a busy lady. I got, and not to be rude, because he's doing his job, and he's got a job to do. And the more that you start to jerk his chain around, the more he's starting to be like, okay, what do you got behind you? But to me, I feel like, from what I'm seeing right now, and this is just my opinion right now, so it's maybe not validated, but I feel like from what we're seeing right now, that they have some information, whether it's, whatever, and now they don't, because they're obviously not having warrants for arrest, so they need a lot of information, is what this is telling me. They have big holes that they need to fill, and they're hoping to bring, like, they're trying to figure out who did it, and they're thinking,
Well, I can have him, like, okay, Leanne, this is your third time, and I made him promise.
Okay. I love you so much, baby.
Me too. Okay.
It makes me feel a lot better talking to you, too.
Me too. Thank you. Thank you for all your support. Okay.
God is taking. God is taking. God is good. God is good.
God is, He is good. So I'll talk to you in just a little bit. Okay, be safe. Okay, bye.
All right, record reflect 46E as an echo was played. Mr. Smith.
Mr. Hearn, drawing your attention to page 2, lines 4 and 5. You make the statement, I started to think like they might even, tapping into phone calls or stuff like that. Again, at this time, are you contemplating that it's more likely that your phones are being tapped?
I was.
And at this point, what led you to believe it was more likely through the duration of this call versus some of the prior calls that we've listened to?
I think the audios and my line of reasoning spoke for itself that we just heard, but there was a number of things that triggered suspicion in me as far as the behaviors of Mr. Meyer and some of the things that he was portraying excitement about that just didn't, they seemed like they were trying to draw out more of a line of conversation between us. So certainly within this conversation, I did have the awareness that I might have an additional audience.
Now, at that time, when you were aware that you likely had an additional audience, how did that affect you?
Well, directly as it pertains to conversation, as you can tell listening to this conversation, I was trying to be pretty specific in alerting Sabrina to resort to the alibi that we had agreed upon before, and suggested that multiple times in the text here or in the audio that we listened to, where I was suggesting essentially that without just saying it directly, I was suggesting that we are having an affair, and that obviously that might be something of suspicion to investigators, and so to get her comfortable to admit to the fact that we had been engaged in an affair, but that was the extent of what we were willing to admit. So obviously, and I think you understand the setting, I was stuck at work for multiple days, and I was trying to also, knowing that she knew what I knew, I was trying to hopefully posture her to not reveal more than she should have in the subsequent interview that was to take place with Mr. Meyer.
Drawing your attention to pages 7 and 8, in essence, you request Ms. Limon reschedule her meeting with Detective Meyer.
Yes.
And the purpose of that was what?
For the purpose of us meeting prior to her going to speak with Mr. Meyer.
Drawing your attention, page 8, you say, I am even more interested in this Barstow guy. Who are you talking about?
I believe it pertained to a recording we heard on Friday that she had alerted me that some of her friends, I believe it was Tiff and Aaron or something like that, had shared some sort of specific information with her that there were suspects and possible arrests pending. So if my memory serves me correctly, that was in reference to him.
Moving on, page 9, the paragraph 4 through 14. You bring up the DNA database that's in our Department of Justice system. The only other way you acquire it is if you have a suspect who is not otherwise in the prison system or something like that. And again, is this something that you spoke with Sabrina about not being in the database, the DNA database?
Yes, I believe it was. I was providing her this information essentially to relieve her because she knew I would not be in that database.
There's also a conversation, or you continue the conversation talking about how officers would get a profile from a person not in the database by following them to a restaurant. Why were you saying this? And was this something you were concerned about at the time?
You know, prior to this conversation, there had been multiple times that I had noticed, I don't want to say noticed myself being followed, essentially noticed what seemed like surveillance activity. And on 2 or 3 times I had mentioned it to Sabrina, I believe only once or twice over the phone, but a couple times I had mentioned to her in person that I had in fact noticed surveillance being done on me. And at the prior occasions, prior to this phone call, I had dismissed it as potentially some of the other investigators that may have had some sort of stake or interest in this, as far as because she was also considering some of the settlements with BNSF that also opened us up to potential civil court and private investigations, things like that, of people who, or corporations who are not wanting to part with monies, who can maybe portray a different angle on the case. So at that, on those prior occasions, I had sort of dismissed our fears as thinking it couldn't be the Kern County Sheriff's Department by now, just because we were pretty convinced that there was no other real direct evidence. So at this point, now it was sort of a reinstituting of that awareness, and hoping that she would recognize that we might be being followed as well.
Moving on to page 10, lines 21 through 24. They have to be like, well, there is a chance that this person brushed up against this person, and then this happened, and then their DNA ended up there even though they weren't. They could have hugged this person, then their hair fell onto the ground. What is the context of these statements?
To dismiss any sort of gripping fear that she might have if they were to confront her directly in that interview with saying that they had direct DNA evidence leading to me, just to explain that there might be also additional alibis or explanations for that.
Did you and Sabrina discuss ways that you could explain away your DNA being on the scene in Tehachapi?
We may have. I definitely remember thinking about that. I don't remember if I did or not.
And draw your attention to this is People's 15. Is just 5 post-it notes contained within People's 15. I'm going to reference the one that has to do at the top. You see the middle where it says to consider, and there's a bullet point, explain DNA.
Yes, sir.
Do you recall writing this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What's the reason that you wrote explain DNA?
To speak specifically with Sabrina in person about the presence of my DNA at the scene.
Turn it over. Can you see that from where you're at, or do you need me to bring the post-it to you?
I would appreciate if you'd bring it to me if you're going to be referencing some of the smaller text. Thank you, sir.
other side, you said explain DNA, and then you have some bullet points. What are the purpose of those listed items?
Those are all specific instances with which one could reasonably infer that DNA may have transferred from person to person, and specifically in our case, in the situation that with the contact that I had with Sabrina and with the items in her house, including lotion, clothing, items that were given back, possibly a towel or a blanket or something that I may have used and then was placed back in the Limon's house, or anything that I may have had that he took with him to Tehachapi at that time could potentially be conceivably an alibi for DNA.
Now, these possible explanations for DNA. Did you and Ms. Limon discuss these bullet points?
Those were some of the specific ones that I recall thinking about, but I'm not sure that I got around to discussing them with her. That was certainly the intent, though.
Moving on to People 16. Recognize this item?
I do.
Let's start at the top. Talk about to the top left, might, phone records, maybe, plus with DNA, star person, and then motive. Why did you write that?
I'm trying to recall right now. If I remember correctly, this was all some of my musings about potential leads to evidence that may have tied me to the case, and I was sort of mulling over potential not only leads that an investigator might be following, but also potential alibis for those on my behalf.
Drawing your attention to the transcript we've just listened to, page 11, lines 6 and 8. You say, you know, from person to malice to intent to willfully and maliciously. Bottom right, you have person lined out, intent lined out, premeditated lined out, malice before lined out. Is this in context to what you're speaking about in the audio from November 10th, 2014?
Yes, those would have been referencing the same topics.
So when you're speaking with Ms. Limon in this situation, have you previously spoken to her about how they would have motive, but they wouldn't have any eyewitness identification? Or what had you spoken about specifically?
I don't right now recall if I had spoken to her previously about elements of crime. However, I did obviously get into it in this phone call that we had right here, and I believe I did have at least one conversation with her at some point. I don't know if it was before or after this phone call, but just briefly discussing the complexity of the case.
Your Honor, would request to provide what has been labeled 46F and be allowed to play the audio at this time.
Any objections, Terry? Submitted. Deputy Barron's handing out a copy of the transcript to the jurors of 46F, as in Foxtrot. The actual evidence is what you hear, not what you read. The purpose of the transcript is to aid in helping you follow along. Whenever you're ready, Mr. Smith.
At this time, November 10th, 2014 at 2019 hours.
Okay, I'll tell her. And you have a great day, Mom. Okay, love you. Good night.
Hello?
Hi.
Hi, I'm so sorry that was, gosh, where?
What's the matter?
Oh, nothing, that was Nancy.
Is everything okay?
Yeah, no, everything's fine. I was comfortable with her. She just called me, and of course, you know, like I said, she was going to her apology. Jill called me this morning, and she wanted to come out here and know, like, celebrate this, I think, for me. And she wasn't what it was. Well, she had this, she made this really awesome, I like this bracelet. It was beautiful. And special, like I can tell she put thought into it, you know. And she gave me a Bible, Jonathan, and said, and then she gave me this really sweet card, and it said, "You inspire me to be a better person."
Oh, thanks.
And then, and hey, I'm not listening about
Right, but just an unexpected gift, yeah.
and then she also, you've been going to church, and she's like, so, you know, I said, I was just, you know, just told her, I said, Joe, you know, like, God has just, like, turned, you know, she was like, Sabrina, I am so glad, and she was like, which one's church? She was like, I thought about coming out, and I was like, you know, and I mean, it does go back to Joe Rock's, you know, status, like, well, who are those, you know, and like, what do you wear, like, what do you wear, and I'm like, how many you are, like, God wants all the hearts, and that's, I knew it from, you know, like, it was just, it was my calling, like, my cheek had been turned, and I was just like, Joe, like, you're through all this pain, you know, like, I feel purpose, and I was just like, just explaining everything, like how it's like everybody needs that update from me, you know what I mean, like when Joe did call me this morning, she was like, hey baby, she was like, you know, like, and I was like, okay, you know, she's like, I have your birthday present, I'm just like, oh, thank you, you didn't have to do that, and then she's like, oh, yeah, well, I want to come out today and I can't stay long. So then I just kind of messaged the girls like, hey, and then I didn't feel, you know, I talked to the detective and I was like, the kids were just like, they were outside on the embankment. They were just right here. Like, I didn't really want to leave the house. And then my parents came by like right after Joe left because I have a broken sprinkler. But then my dad's truck broke down. Like, it's been giving him a hard time. So I had to go take my mom back to get the car, and they were down at my house for quite a while. So it's just kind of one of those things. And then the girls are all up there, like, waiting for me. And I text them, you know, like, shoot, today's not going to work out. And so Nancy said, Brita, is this you? I'm like, I would do anything with you, like, everything we talked about earlier, I'm just like, trip. Oh my gosh, that's like so loud. I was going off my phone. It was loud. It was in my backyard. Anyway, I just like, I'm thinking about everything you said, and like, I don't know, I think that I told Detective Meyer, like, hey, I am with can I come Thursday instead? I don't want him to shut out on me, you know, like, I don't want him to start, like, oh, you know what I mean?
Well, that's kind of, he wants to operate under that assumption is, you know, that's kind of the whole point of that request is, you know, if it's assuming that people are going to capitulate to everything, you know, like, nobody wants to go against the request or whatever, you know, or like, cancel on him or anything like that.
It would be a good idea to ask him to.
No, just tell him, like, oh, hey, I'm sorry, you know, we'll say or whatever. I'm sorry, Wednesday doesn't work anymore, just, you know, whatever, full schedule and stuff, you know. Schedule has gotten crammed, especially on, you know, kids in whatever holiday week, whatever you want to blame the thing for, just like, oh, I'm sorry.
And it really does have tutoring for the first time on Wednesday, so like that's legitimate, you know, or that's not why, like I said, you know, Wednesday doesn't work out for me. Could I come Thursday instead?
Yeah, or just say like Thursday or Friday or something like that.
Thursday or Friday. The only thing is Friday, my kids get out of school early, Friday for Thursday. Well, you know, I don't want to give him reason to trip, and I just don't know what to do.
Yeah, I guess that I would like to talk to you first about that specifically, but yeah, I don't think giving me a reason to trip, at least right off the bat, it doesn't seem like that's a huge risk, you know.
How are you?
Good, you know, just man, real tired today. You know, I haven't really gotten to stop all day, you know. Yeah, I just, and I know you're right there with me, so I don't wanna complain, but I am ready for some rest, and I think God wants us to recharge and rest our minds, because you know, I definitely do feel like more skeptical and more tripped and more of this and more of that, and just like all of my emotions definitely like amplified because of lack of sleep, just like, you know, and I don't think that's good. I want to be humble and recharged.
I have the Bible, I don't want to be, I just want to for God and for His purpose makes me you know, because I'll never, things in life, I'll never get this, you know, like it's not, you know, it's still beyond, like, what I like, it's so crazy, and, you know, the timing, I know that we talked about this before, it's just like, you know, that is something that, like, we've been concerned, and we don't know that this is, that's what it is, but I don't know if it is shady.
there is a lot I want to talk to you about. You know, I've written a couple things down, but then I really do. I do feel like one of the things is to wait till tomorrow, sometime a little bit later, just so he can make his hard set on Wednesday, and then you change it on him. I think it's going to be important. And then, yeah, I do. And I should be careful. I should, you know, write about all this. But I do. Like, it just.
Okay.
And then,
Okay.
I do want to talk to you in person. I do want to have a clear mind and not be, you know, falling asleep on you all and try to talk to you and stuff. And I do want to have a clear mind and be recharged for God and just be humble, you know. And Sabrina, I can't tell you how truly I align and I agree with your passion and your hope and your desire, which is just to have the Bible out there and find our purpose, you know, just read in the Bible and just find that we have been given purpose to live for God, to raise a family for God.
Yeah. I really got to agree with that. He's like, no, I'm going to go and you can go there. And he said, where is it? We have it all right now. He goes to that. And he got, you know, and all control of mine. You know, I just know I wish it was easy. Like, God, I came in like, okay, here's why, here's how, here's what I want from you. You know, because I would do anything. You know, it's so good. I was reading the Bible and searching and praying, and you know, yes, I want to be right, and you know, and the pain of like, you know, of Robert, like what he's telling me, like there's DNA, okay, well, good, you know, like, you know, what happened, you know?
Yeah, why is that exciting means, but whatever, you know, like.
That sounds weird to you, huh?
It's just, he's playing dumb. He's like, it's the same guy who before was just like, oh yeah, well, we'll gather it. You know, if we have a match, it'll be from someone in, you know, whatever in the system, we can match it up, we'll give the profile, and he's funny how it all works. And then he just plays dumb now all of a sudden with stuff of like, you know, honestly, I'm busy. He's been so busy all the time. And then, you know, honestly, I don't know. I don't know if it goes into the system and checks to see if they can find the culprit off of it. I don't know. Like, that'll be something the scientists do. Like, yeah, you do. Yeah, you know what happens with DNA. Like, this is what you do for a living. You know what happens to DNA. So.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're telling me all that. Like, I'm glad you're talking to me because I don't want him to, like, be able to count on me, you know? And, like,
right. And I think that's what he's, at least it looks to me like he's setting up to do. And the truth of the matter is, hey, if he's just doing what he's trying to do here and just trying to, you know, sort of like he thinks you're probably in the know about who, and I'm sure knows, you know, for me too, and he thinks he does. Well, guess what?
okay, that's horrible. That's a horrible thought that you
Right.
I understand the scripture, and so I want to be
also at the same time, it's like, well, let's look at that from the other perspective of, well, you have a lot to prove, and, you know, you can march somebody in here and try to squeeze information out of them, but if they don't have the information for you, like, good luck. Nice thought, but good luck.
Hey,
You
I
know.
don't think that you should go with me.
You know,
Okay, well, I'll come with things. It's like, yeah. I mean, I don't know how long it will take. I don't know.
like driving out there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so like,
You want to talk about that?
yeah. Yeah, we can talk about that later.
We'll talk about that. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. I'm sorry. I don't mean to postpone anything.
No.
I'm just kind of leery of like, I almost feel like just they're listening on everything. I'm just like, you know, like just the way that they suddenly start treating, you know, I think it has to do with the cell phones and like, suddenly they're like, oh.
So how hard is it to?
I honestly am not too familiar. I know how it is with house phones, but I'm not too, excuse me, I'm not too familiar with cell phones. Thank you. I really shouldn't, you know, I can't do like my whole body is shaking. I'm so like out of sleep.
I'm gonna let you go because it's seriously, like, if now is the time where you can get like a couple hours in, I don't want to take up like more time. You know?
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I really do appreciate that. The thing is, I want you to know, Sabrina, you know, we serve a big God who is in the business of working out miracles. And I don't know what the miracle is really that we're asking for here, but, you know, just that to guide this investigation. And I know you do. I know you do. And I love you so much, Sabrina. And I know this is your prayer. This is your passion for this, you know, situation. I know that. I love you so much, Sabrina. I can't wait to talk to you. I do think it will be helpful to be off on Wednesday, and just spend like the day together and just talk over some things.
But you couldn't find anybody. Well, that's okay. Okay, I'll just tell them, you know what, Wednesday, I can't make it out there. It's Thursday, okay.
Yeah, that would be good. I think that would be good. Kind of bring it to, you know, like, because really I don't think it works as well for you.
Okay, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
just kind of understand where the priorities are. Who's, you know, you're the one who has been so helpful and so, you know, like, you deserve to be treated politely and treated well through this thing. So, it's, you know, you're the one who lost your husband. So,
Hey, he made you the day for. I know, I just
talked to me last night. He was like, thank you so much for, being patient through this. And I know it's hard and all that stuff.
Seems like just one great big letter up because there's a whole bunch of holes, and he thinks that you're going to be the one to know the answers to his questions, and furthermore that you would.
I want to say that I remember. Okay, well, we'll talk. I want you to do that, but I want to say that I remember him when I talked to him this here. That he said I may have to. That you may try to do this one more time or something like that.
Oh, really?
But I was just thinking actually, I'm not sure. I can't remember. If that was just a known time, like I was saying, known.
Right. Oh, I can imagine.
Yeah, so, okay, well, get some rest.
Baby, I love you so much. Will you please try to get some rest for your soul too?
I don't even feel tired.
No.
Maybe
you're pain. I don't want you to.
If you really got my sister, I mean, if I call her, she'd have to, That would be actually.
I'm so sorry. I can't, I don't have my head right now. I don't know.
Okay.
I really,
That's right.
Even alone now would help, I think, a little bit, but,
Here, on this 1 second, I get close my eyes right now, just for a minute. Okay, do it. Yeah.
Hey, I do want you to rest, so baby, please, I know you're not tired, but please, because what'll happen is you'll get, I'm not tired, and then you'll be spread thin, and then when it's time to, hey, when it's time to think clearly, when it's time for all things to come together, you'll be,
I'm just going to read the Bible here for a little bit, because,
that is good rest for the soul.
okay. Is there anyone you recommend?
Yes. Yes. Psalm 38 and Psalm 51.
Psalm 38 and Psalm which one?
51, 5-1.
Okay. I'm going to read that.
And do you mind if I take you back a little bit there and see if you're still on it?
Yeah, if you like, anytime.
Okay. Oh, no, I thought you could off.
No, I can't miss the phone. If it goes off, I don't hear it. I'm sleeping. So I'm sleeping. I don't respond. Don't panic. I'm just asleep. I love you too. My husband.
Please help us to stay focused on you. Help us to love you. And I'm for you. God, we want to share you. We want to reflect you. We want to be your children. In Jesus' name, help us to live for you, God. In Jesus Christ.
Amen. Thank you. Or should I give you the rest and I'll talk to you a little bit, okay?
Sure, baby, I love you.
All right, record reflect 46F was played for the jury, Mr. Smith.
Hearn, drawing your attention to page 5, line 2, where Ms. Limon says, "I just want to live for God and for His purpose." What's the significance of "for His purpose"? In your, I apologize, I didn't get to finish my question.
Well, by all means.
Thank you. In your conversations between you and Ms. Limon.
Well, around that time, you hear a lot of references to God and to prayer and to His purpose or His will or living for God and all these sorts of references to spiritual things. And as light background, it might help to understand that a lot of these conversations were pretty heavily informed by a recent interest in the things of God, a recent pursuit of God, His forgiveness, His grace. This was something that was a very it was a very serious pursuit for me, and I was starting to pay attention to the things of God and what God had to say about especially forgiveness and grace. The context, of course, is that just 3 months before I'd killed somebody, and that weighs heavily on the soul. And for all the scripture and church I'd gone to before, and all the education I'd had in scriptural things, now it was becoming a pretty personal interest for me. So that had been a big part of our dialogue between Sabrina and I. And in retrospect, I'm not sure how interested she was in all these things. I hope she is. But there was definitely an echo between us of many of these kinds of comments, as I'm sure you heard on these conversations. So with respect to that exact phrase, God's purpose, that had kind of graduated to the point of becoming a catch-all for everything referencing our future together and marriage and raising family.
Moving down to line 7, Ms. Limon references, "I know that we talked about this before, just like you know. That is something that, like you know, we've been concerned, and we don't." Based on the context of the conversation, what you recall, what is this? What had you talked about previously?
Do you understand the question, Mr. Hearn?
I do, sir.
Okay. Subject to a motion to strike all out, Mr. Terry. Thank you. Go ahead, Mr. Hearn.
I do not remember exactly what it is that we had discussed specifically, but as is evidenced multiple times in this conversation, there are thoughts that began to be spoken about that were that I retracted, and some that Sabrina also referenced. She was looking forward to talking to me in person regarding. So there were a number of things that obviously we both had on our minds at that time that we were sort of dancing around, not wanting to openly discuss over the phone.
Page 5, line 13, by you, it says, "I've written a couple things down." Is that in respect to the items I've put up on the screen?
Most likely.
Okay. Moving on to page 7, line 11, Ms. Limon states, "I'm glad you're talking to me because I don't want him to be able to pounce on me." And you recall this portion of your speaking with Ms. Limon?
Yes, sir.
Did you subsequently speak to her as well about preparation for her dialogue with Detective Meyer?
I did.
Okay, what did you provide her in either way of tactics or encouragement?
A reinforcement of the preliminary alibi that we had developed. When we spoke again, I just expressed to sort of feel them out if they had any direct evidence or confronted her directly regarding me, as in my identity, that she could then, it would obviously be in her best interest to reveal the nature of our affair. However, not to offer more than was necessary to claim her position in the room as a victim, aiding in an investigation, and not at all to feel demeaned or in any way feel like she had to provide some sort of information that they were potentially going to extract from her.
All right, we'll take our lunch recess there. Everybody back at 1:30. Remember not to form or express any opinion or discuss the case.